Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel DBK Funday, all about RDBMS. So guys, today I'm presenting yet another video on one of the most interesting topic which everybody from the DBA side wanted to prepare for their personal practice, for their learning, to enhance more knowledge on database. So let's see what topic is that basically. So before we start the video, I would say if you have not subscribed this channel, please go ahead and subscribe my YouTube channel, like and share as much as you can to your colleagues, to your YouTube network, to your LinkedIn network, to your any of the technical network which you may have, so that people can take advantage out of this particular channel and the video. So basically, what is my today's topic is how to set up Oracle VM for DB2 using RHEL9. So what basically I'm going to share with you all over this video is how I basically prepared one Oracle virtual machine so that you can do any stuff, learn new stuff in the DBA background, anything which is new into the DB2 world, maybe like, adding the new features, moving to the new versions, understanding the different patterns and criterias, be it related to database, be it related to objects, be it related to table spaces, anything you talk about DB2, you will find there and you can practice there and have your hands on for the particular topics, which is, grooming in the world of data management. So before we dive into the video, I would appreciate if you have a basic knowledge of Linux and commands, because this is going to help you to understand more into this particular video. So let's say, for example, if you do not well versed with the Linux command and utilities, do comment in the comment section. I would try to see, like, if I can capture another video to prepare Linux command, so that it can help you to understand the YouTube videos which I'm going to upload in future and which I'm preparing in. So what is the current configuration of mine is, which I'm going to utilize in? I will be taking Oracle virtual machine box. Then I would need one RHEL9 ISO image file, which you need to download from internet, both the things. I think I'm sure, like, you have seen my video where I have basically shown, like, how you can install your Oracle virtual machine from internet and how you can install on Windows. With that, I would need the DB2 software, which I need to download from the Passport Advantage. Obviously, it will be the trial version. Yes. So to start with any of the database installation or configuration, be it a virtual machine or be it your actual server, you would need to basically first define how you need to create a virtual machine, what kind of file system you would need, because obviously any data which you are going to create into the database, that is going to sit into the database files, which is basically nothing but containers in the database terminology. So containers are basically what? Those are the dedicated mount points, dedicated file system which you align on the server which you are using for basically building the database. So in this case, if I need to navigate down, what are the basically mount points, database mount points I'm going to utilize? DB2 home, DB2 inst1. So as name says, DB2 home and DB2 inst1. DB2 inst1 would be my one of the instance which I'm going to create on the UDB. Yeah, I think probably if you do not understand what is the instance, I'm going to prepare another yet video on that so that you can understand what instance which I mean. DB2 home. Home is nothing. It's a directory in the operating system which represents your home directory, which is a dedicated workspace given to you to do any work on the operating system, right? Maybe writing a script, maybe keeping some scripts, maybe writing some, work there which you can utilize for. So if you go for the test data management, DB2 inst1, DB2 inst1, TS data 01. So TS data 01 means test table space data 01, table space data 02. Ideally speaking, if I need to use these two containers for table spaces data, it means my data would be segregated into these two containers, right? If you go move further to the another containers, temp data 01, temp data 02, it means my temporary data whenever I'm going to utilize the temp table space, which is one of the critical table space in any database, be it Oracle, UDB, or SQL Server, any Postgres or anything like, or maybe for that matter, if you take the operating system, temp table space plays a very significant role in any of the machine, right? So then my temp table space would be utilizing these two containers whenever it is needed. Then let's say, for example, when I talk about large objects, so what is the large objects in the database terminology? Like, for example, if you want to store resume in your table, so resume would be shaped as a document. So document, whenever it is stored in the database, that is generally called as a large object. So document and images, large objects, binary large objects, blobs we call it, or glob we call it as a character large object, right? Where you have a character set like XML, document, text file, image. These are the large objects. So whenever I'm going to utilize these two table spaces for lob data 01, lob data 02, it means I'm going to store my large objects into these two table spaces. In that case, my these table spaces would be used only for the context data or text data, right? So DB2 dump dialogues. So you might have heard about, like, whenever you start the database, whenever you utilize the database has a certain mount point where you can store the data of logs, error logs, information logs, warnings. So this is the mount point which I have kept for keeping the DB2 dialogues, right? Dialog means diagnostic. Whenever it is needed, I would have to basically go ahead and check here what is happening to my database and instances. So DB2 archive logs. So archive log is one of the strategy which basically you have to make sure your database is recoverable. If your database archiving log is not set up, it means your database is not in the recovery mode. Okay, so make sure we need to use this path to basically set up the archive logs for the database. Then what we have the next is active logs. So obviously every database, when it does any operations like DML operations, right, DDL operations, anything or everything which you do on the database, it does logging. So you would have to enable the database for logging. So this is the mount point, or this is the file system I'm going to use for my active logs. Then obviously, as a part of backup and recovery strategy, I would be needing one path where I'm going to keep my database backups. So this is the path which I'm going to utilize for the database backups. Apart from that, these all are things are just only capturing my user information, my data information, be it a large, be it a small, be it a blob, be it the text, be it a archive logs, be it a, errors, everything. But where I'm going to keep my software, actual software, which I'm going to utilize for installation. So I have kept basically Optim, IBM, DB2, right? This is a generic path, which generally we use for the databases where we have a Linux as a base operating system. So let's see what the next step we have. Add virtual disk to the Oracle VM, because obviously when you create the virtual machine, Oracle virtual machine, you would not be adding these all shift disks in one shot. First you create the virtual machine, then you can add there and then as well, but later on you can add as well, because to understand how the disk commands work in place. Okay, so this is what I have shown, like, command to create the file system for the DB2 UDB. Fdisk is a basically command to create or enable your drive which you have allocated for the data storage, right? What you need to do is, whenever you do the fdisk, use option N whenever it is prompting for, and means new partition. Then P is option for primary partitions. So generally there is a limited basically primary partitions are in place. As soon as it is over, what you need to do is you need to utilize extended partitions that we will see basically in this one, if at all it is possible. Then option W, once you do all the settings, you need to write it to the disk to make sure the entry is permanent, right? So for example, which I have given in this one. So what you need to do is you need to do the part prop. Part prop is nothing basically to update the kernel. This is what we have added to the operating system. This is additional thing which we have added to the box. Then make file system, extend it for device name and the file system name to create the file system. Then tune your file system which you have created. Okay. So how to mount the file system? Let's say, for example, DB2 database backup. Mount you need to first create a device, then you need to mount that particular file system on that particular device. Okay, so if this is basically nothing, basically a directory sitting on your database, you can keep like this. Okay, then above steps are done. Once the above steps are done, you need to install the DB2. How you need to do that? Go to the path where you have uploaded the DB2 binaries. So basically, I have used the WinSCP. If you see that WinSCP, I have already placed basically DB2 file, DB2 basically binaries on the server from where I am going to trigger. So if you see that, this is my path where I've kept basically the DB2 binaries. So you can use the WinSCP to migrate the files from your local system to the remote system, as we have in this use case. Then you could do, in my case, basically, as I said, like, in my case, I have kept the software, DB2 software in this particular directory. Then once you place this particular, DB2 software on the DB2 software directory, then you need to basically untar that particular file into the specific folder or into that specific directory. So this is a command you can use very basically to keep the file into the to basically untar this file into the DB2 software. Then you need to run the DB2 pre-check. So why we need to run the DB2 pre-check? Why? What is the need of it? Because we need to run the DB2 pre-check to make sure like my system where I'm going to load or where I'm going to install the DB2 is compatible enough to basically hold that particular software. If it doesn't, probably it'll give us errors or warnings, anything which we need to fix before we need to go to that. So for running the DB2 as a server, right? If you need to install the DB2 as a server, we need to put -s. So as of now, since we are basically, if you ask me, like, since we are installing or basically applying the 11.5 version of DB2, so that's what it is going to be. If whichever version you're using, you need to put that version within the codes and run that. How can we check where the DB2 binaries are installed? So this would be the question. Once you install the binaries, which is the command generally you use basically to see, like, where my binaries are installed? You can write answer into the comment section if you feel. I think this is a check, like, whether you're watching my entire video from start to end. Then post that, when everything is done, you need to basically create the instance user creation. Okay, so you need to use the group add with 999 as an ID, DB2 admin ID. This is a groups which is required. One is for DB2 instance, another is for DB2 fence user. We would not be creating for dash admin because it is not needed. It is deprecated in the latest version starting from 9.7. So if you see, like, this is basically, if you go to the IBM Info Center, you type there dash user, it says, like, DB2 administrative server, which we used to call as a dash user, has been deprecated, right? And has been deprecated. Version 9.79 might be removed in the future releases. Since we are on 11.5.9.0, so chances are that we don't need to create, although you can create it, but it is not going to be utilized. So this is the command, basically user add u ID group. This is what we created, m-d to give the home directory and the instance name. So these two are the commands basically to create the users, right? So then once you create the users, you change the home directory by using the chown, and later on you need to change the password as well by using the password command. Let's say, for example, if I need to change the password of DB2 inst1, I need to use passwd DB2 inst1. So enter, right? So it will basically prompt for password. So need to give the password and enter the password with, whatever the password compatibility it has. So let's dive into the virtual machine. So this is my virtual machine at the moment. So if you need to create the new virtual machine, let's say, for example, this is the same window for you, you need to go to new. Okay, here you need to give the name of the virtual machine. Let's say, for example, DB2 LUW 11 RHEL9. Okay, so you can give the path of the virtual machine where you want to, store your virtual machine. You can give other, you can select from A drive, B drive, C drive, wherever you want to see that, you can do that. Okay, so then you need to type the operating system. Operating system, what is supported is Linux, Solaris, BSD, IBM OS2, Mac OS X, others, right? If you do not show with your operating system, so you can choose like bit, right? 32-bit, 64-bit, right? You can choose it from here. Then memory size, how much memory you want to give in. So memory size basically here as a disk. So how much disk you want to give here. right? Generally not a disk. Basically, if you add me, it is basically RAM. It is asking for the RAM. If you go for the RAM, right, it will, let's say for example, I have put all this thing. Instead of this one, we can give D20 2048, right? And let's go for create. Okay, so maybe it has the same name. Let's say one. I'll go and create. Okay, so now when I click on create, it is giving me the location where my virtual machine is gonna be sitting. Then file size. Earlier, whatever it is populating for, that is for RAM. Now it is populating for the disk. So what we need to create here is 80 GB is too much. Either we can give it 20 GB or maybe 8 GB, 10 GB, 13 GB, 14 GB, something like that, right? So when you go to click one, it is clicking one. As of now, it is basically powered off. And then what you need to do is you need to go to setting, right? And go to storage. So what I'm going to show you here is, because if you see here at the moment, it is empty controller. Not empty controller, basically empty CD or DVD. So let's say now the question is in the place, like, when you create the virtual machine, right, which software you are going to use, which operating system, software as in operating system. So this is the place where you need to decide, like, which operating system I need to use. You need to go to this particular part, choose the disk. If you see here, this is the DVD RHEL 9.3 DVD.ISO. So you need to make sure whatever the guest operating system you want to keep into the virtual machine, you need to download it, keep it, and then you need to select it, and then click on OK. Okay, then network, you need to basically look into it. What is that? Ideal network adapter is required is for you to bridge. I'll tell you, like, why I'm selecting here is the bridge adapter, why in the NAT one. So there are different things. I'll tell you later, like, why and why we are using the bridge adapter and what is the need of it. So we'll click on OK. So now you see our virtual machine is ready. So you need to right click and start and normal start. So what it will do, it will start installing your operating system first. Then you need to navigate through the steps. Obviously, I'm not going to get into that much details, but yes, I'll prepare one additional video where I'll be walking you through the entire start to end steps as to how we can create the Oracle Virtual Box by using RHEL9. Okay, so now I'll remove it from here at the moment because it is not needed. So now this virtual machine is running on. What we need to do is quickly, first thing is, like, we need to open the putty sessions. So putty sessions, basically, if it is not open already, what we need to do is, I'm just closing it to just show you, like, once my virtual machine is up and running, I need to go to putty. I need to basically, first of all, I need to go to this virtual machine, for example. So if you see, I need to go to the activities, right? Type here, I'm on the virtual, I'm in virtual machine at the moment. Terminal, you see this is the terminal box, terminal app. So I'm going here, just wanted to show you, like, what is my IP address. Okay, if you see, I have config, right? This is my virtual IP address. Then what is the host name? So DB2 LUW RHL. So I have done these changes because while installing, all those things are there. So whatever the mount point I was discussing about, so we can do df-h to see that. So you see all mount points I have created. Okay, so let's control, you need to come out of that control key, right side of your control key, you need to click on that. You can minimize. Then I have already placed here, you need to click, double click on that, then log in as a DB okay, fun day, right? Sudo to root user. Okay, so df-h, same thing I can put if config. So you see, like, it's, I feel comfortable, like, working with putty sessions. So putty sessions is basically, like, it's hands-on tool, basically. No need to navigate here and there with the virtual machine. So what we were discussing about is if you see this one, so let's go back to this particular point. Okay, so I showed you like a virtual machine, then RHEL ISO image file, then DB2 blah 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 and all like that. Since I have added the mount point, so let's do one thing here. Let me show you how we can do that mount point addition. Okay, int, that's a 0. It means my virtual machine is gonna stop. You see here, currently it's running. It will gonna be power off soon. It'll take little more. It's taking just a little more time. We need to just wait, like, based on my machine power, right? It's a bit of slow, but anyways, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so you say power on, power off. I need to click on setting. Let's say I'll tell you, like, as I've configured how to add the storage. I need to go here, just increase this one. These are not the disk. I don't have to go here as a controller ID, because this is for I would say DVD drive or CD drive. I need to click on here. I need to click on this one, just to extract this one, create. Okay, what I need to do is I need to give some 1 GB. Let's say I need to give a space, click on virtual hard disk, create, look for what I have created. This one I have created because just now 1 GB. So you see the serial, but the latest one is the serial. The latest serial would be the latest one. So I need to choose here, click here. It got added here, 22, right? See, it gives you all the information. Just click on OK. Yep, we are good to start. So click on this one. I'll start that. So what will happen is, by doing this activity, I'm just showing you, like, how you need to add the mount point once your machine is built. So this will tell you the steps which I shown you here, basically how to add the virtual disk. So I have added the virtual machines. You have seen that. I've gone there into the disk controller. There I have added the disk size, then it's chosen there and added there. Now the next points are like how I need to create the partition, how I need to basically make sure that is writable, and how it is to be mounted to this particular path. So before I get into it, let's do this path. I'll go here and create this particular path. Let's create this directory, but make sure our operating system is up and running. Which one? Which is there on the virtual machine. So how? Let's see whether it's running. We need to click on start, go to party session. The start, it is not yet started. So as soon as you see the prompt, right, it means this is the indication that your server is up and running. You can see from here as well. So my cursor is still revolving here and there. Hopefully it will take additional 1 more minute. Not like one exactly the 1 minute, maybe 30 seconds or 40 seconds based on how soon it is gonna up. So it means it's not yet. Don't worry about that if you receive this time. Yeah, it's up now. So let's go to DBK Monday. Okay. So a bit of slow. Let's say anyways, slow. No problem. If it is slow, that's fine. The resources are coming up. Okay. Let's put export TMOUT 0, no timeout. Then let's see. There is one disk command, right? I showed you fs disk, fdisk -l grep with disk. Okay. So if you see 0, lsblk is the best command, I would say, right? You see here, whichever the file system I have created, it has additional thing of 1, right? 1 means SDN is the main file system, SD, and 1 is the mounted or created partition from that particular disk, right? So if you see SD0, sorry, SDO, it has 1 GB, but it is not yet created. So how we need to create that? Let's do that. Clear screen, fdisk, okay, dev SD0. sorry, SDO. Okay, enter. What it says, same point, right? If you follow this document, right, same points. What I need to give? I need to option. Let's say if I need to put this way, let's put this way. That how I should show you guys. Let's see this way. Okay, what I need to put? N. N is a new partition. Click. Since partitions are free, if I need to create the extended or maybe primary one, I don't know. I don't want to change here anything. Let it be. Enter. 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 Okay, so what it says, created a new partition. I did not do anything, no any personal comments here. I did not given any kind of additional comment here. No additional values. Whatever was default, I have taken that, right? It says created a new partition one of type Linux and of size itna. Okay, 1023 MB, meaning it's nearby 1 GB, right? Then I need to put W. W was nothing. It was a write part, writing the partition. Enter. You see here, the partition has been the partition table has been altered, calling IO, CTL, blah, blah, blah. These are all Linux terms. I don't want to get into those things. Okay. So now let's go here. Now I need to run part probe. Copy from here, paste here, enter. Okay. Now I need to basically, it was 001. Let's say create the file system. This one, SDO01. Enter. Done. Right. I need to fine tune this one, which I've just created. 01. Enter. Everything is set. Now what I have to additionally do at the same thing which I said. Okay, here the additional point is like I need to basically vi2 etc fs tab file and enter. Okay, so same thing I need to go here, clear screen. Sorry, sometime you have to be very clear about the keys. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm sure etc fs tab. Okay, need to hit enter. So you see, I have all the entries, whichever the mount point or the directories I have mounted on this system. The additional thing which I need to do is dev sdo1. Okay, what was the directory? If you remember, if you do not, let's follow the document. It says this one. Okay, so if I go here, nothing else I need to do. I just need to copy this. That's it. Escape. Sorry, escape. WQ. This is just a command to save it. Now, if you see cat etc fs tab, you see this is there, but mkdir is important because if it is not done yet. Okay, so then simple command mount, copy this entire file, paste here, and this one. That's it. So this is a simple step we need to do. Since it says mount hint, your FS tab has been modified, but system still uses the old version. So this is the command it is suggesting to run that. We'll copy this command and run this. Okay, then clear screen, then df-h, you would see the newly added mount point is added here. Guys, these are the absolutely same steps which I have done for all these mount points. There was nothing additional, right? So this is the command. If I need to show you, these are the basically listed commands which you generally use to mount the new file system. How you need to first add the file system. You have to go to the virtual machine first, go to the settings, then go to the storage, check the SATA controller, add from there. As of now, it is disabled because my virtual machine is up and running. When a virtual machine is up and running, you ideally cannot go ahead and add the mount points or the disk. You need to basically turn your virtual machine off to get any additional settings to be executed on the virtual machines. With that, we are done with these steps. Okay, now what are the next steps? Once all are things done, go to the path where you have a uploaded binary files. As I said, I've used the WinSCP to move the files from my local machine to the remote machine. Now I have to go to the party session. Let's go to CB2, DB2, software, enter. See here, my file is there. So let's say RF, let's remove this one. Since I've already done that, so maybe you might be thinking like, just wanted to give any experience as to what I have done. Okay, so let's say this one, I am removing For you guys, see, since my file is not in zip, understand this one, it's in tar. So I don't need to put this entire command. So I need to just modify this command. Copy this. Okay. Enter this one and modify this command with this one because my path is not having zip, and remove Z from here. Then go to select this file command, go to your party session, run this. I'm sure something wrong in this command, but let's see. Let's verify. These are the same commands, but if it doesn't run, we'll see what we can run for this. Okay. Ideally, it should be running because otherwise it would have been given me some sort of error. It would give you the error if anything goes wrong with this command, which I have shared in this one. So if you want to make sure nothing is going wrong, let's go there. DBK Funday. Okay. So it's logging in. Let's sudo to root. So guys, there is one thing here, right? So I'm running this everything by root. Reason being, there are two ways you can install DB2. One is by root user, another is by non-root users. So this, I'm just giving you heads up. I'm not going to cover into this particular video because this video would be too much extended or too much lengthy. I don't want to make that one, but just giving you the heads up here. Probably I'll share some another video with this concept, what you can do by using root, what you cannot do using by non-root user. So we need to make sure whatever the basically installation we are doing, we are giving as a root user. You see here. So that is what I deleted earlier. You see, you have a, once you basically untard it by using this particular command, you will see the server underscore DC. Let's go back into this. Let's go into CD. Now you see there is a lot of thing into this particular path. So as I said, what was the next step which I need to follow is run the pre-check. So pre-check, which I said, why it is needed, because it is important. It is important to check what my system is doing, how my system looks like. So same command I need to copy and paste, hit enter. Oh, wow, wow, wow. So I have got a lot of things here, but let's see what is this one. Summary of prerequisites that are not met on this current system. It's warning, it's warning, it's warning. So just FYI, these are the warnings only. We can ignore them as well. So it's not necessarily we have to keep these. We can do that, but if you see, we have a 64-bit operating system, right? But these are related to the 32-bit, which we can ignore, certainly, right? So now what we need to do is, now our extraction of the file is done from the DB2. Now the part is basically how we need to install. To install that, we need to go, we are already there on the PWD, right? If you see // this one and hit enter. So you need to put yes, what it says, to accept those terms, yes. So it says, I can move this directory if can. It is saying basically install into the default directory, which it is giving me. No, I don't want to get into that. Why I'm not going to get into that? Because I have created my specific directories. What was that basically? OPT, IBM, DB2 version 11.5. Okay, then I need to hit enter. Then I am going to install server. So again, another thing, maybe you can think through while watching this video, if at all I need to basically install client, right? I can install the 4 things from this particular version or binaries, right? Server and client. These are the 2 things which majorly people look for. So if I need to clear, install as a client, I need to put as a client, but I don't want to install the client. I want to go with the server option because I want to look at the other options like TSA, partition, non-partition, other stuff, which is basically managed as a server. I would be creating a client to connect with this server, something like that to test with. So I'm opting for the server now. I need to click enter. So do you want to install the DB2 Pure Scale feature? No, I don't want to go at the moment, but we'll see later. So hopefully my installation will go on after hitting the enter. So since I've already hit the enter, it'll basically almost do 50 plus tasks for the DB2 installation. I think we need to wait for some time. Let's wait for some time. I don't want to pause the video because I'm just playing with this particular tool which I'm using to record the videos. So if you can bear me for some time, you can go for coffee break, tea, anything you want to bring in, and you can spare some time and just go and fetch your coffee, water, or tea, whichever you like during the work. So although you're not doing work, you're learning something. I'm sure you're getting something out of it from this video. Again, I would say, if you have not subscribed my channel, please go ahead and subscribe my YouTube channel. There are a lot of things are coming in place. I'm making sure, like, every week I must release at least one video on the DB2, covering the core concepts. I understand, being a DBA, the pain of DBA, and it's always good, like, to get concrete and robust information over the internet whenever you seek any sort of knowledge sharing sessions, or you're stuck in some sort of critical issues. So I know it demands a lot, but considering that fact, I'm choosing those topics and coming up with the videos. So you see, like, it is moving. 13th task is started, so hopefully it will go for, I did not check how many tasks it was saying it is going to be. It is 59, as I said, like, 50 plus task it is going to execute. So total 59 tasks it has to execute. So let's wait for some time. I'm going for mute some time. It all depends on your configuration of the machine as to how much uh, RAM it has, how much CPUs you have given. Although I have not given so much of CPUs, so the current configuration of my system is it has a Windows 10, not Windows 10, Windows 8 with 16 GB RAM um, on it, with almost 1 TB of space, which I have on my desk. So that's pretty much, but I have not given any concrete configuration to this particular virtual machine, considering the fact I have generally do navigate from guest OS to host OS. But hopefully this is I would say quite promising. The speed is quite okay. I would not say it's too degraded. It's not that performatic, but yeah, it is doing well. Not that great, but it is meeting my expectations at least. So I think we are nearby. It's setting the DB2 library path. So hopefully we are going to get this completed within 10 to 15 seconds. Generally, it takes time because setting DB2 library path, it requires a lot of parameters to be executed. Setting the path, DB2 path, DB2 Java path, etc., etc. during this particular step. So after that, probably once this DB2 installation is complete, we will not be creating instance today. But yes, I would show you, like, how we can create the instance user, and instance user, as well as groups. Groups are mainly important. Reason being, if you do not create groups, you just directly go and create the instance users. Um, that will not going to help you, because later on you will face into the so many issues. And another thing is, like, DB2 instance. I would say, like, tip: DB2 instance name and the username uh, must be the same. That is how DB2 says. Uh, Honestly speaking, I did not try with another name, but you can try. I would try rather as well. But you have to give the instance name and the username same, because DB2 consider instance name and the username same. So ID you need to keep that way. And that is something like standard practice of the DB2. Then you need to create the databases, but will not be covering in this video because otherwise it will be too lengthy. I don't want to create the lengthy videos because sometimes people say, oh, 50 minutes, yeah, it's too lengthy, let's not get into that. So I wanted to keep short and crisp so that it meets the purpose, it gives you learning, and takeaways. So I just wanted to create a confidence so that, by seeing this video, at least you try at home. It's easy, but it requires efforts to set up this, because it requires a lot of things to download, a lot of things to configure. Certainly, it's not that easy, because when you set up the virtual machine, it's not just only just DB2 installation. It is also about hardware. It is also about network. It is also about user. It is also about operating system. It is also about setting up the parameters. Lot of things you will basically get to know that. It is all about basically adding the disk. I forgot that. I just showed you how you can basically add the disk on that. So these are certainly things you get to learn. So same like, you can get the exposure. If you do not know, it's okay. Don't worry, like, do not know. You learn it, you understand it, grab that. How why I'm saying is because when you start building the DB2 database, your network concept will be coming in picture, your hardware concept will come in picture. So your DB2 concept will come in picture. If you do not know, that's fine. You'll be absolutely right. You would be absolutely fine. You would be learning from scratch. That is what I've chosen this one. Otherwise, I would have started with the database created and this blah 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 and all. So I wanted to start from scratch so that if you pick up things today, you know like what is happening exactly. Not just like, oh, I have seen the database created already. I have not even seen how it has been done, right? So you see, so the best thing is like the execution completed with warnings, I think, which is fine. I know which are warnings it has captured. Same thing, same warnings it has captured, because it is looking for the 32-bit. I don't consider that. So with that, I am going to back. So now, best thing is like how to check, like, what is the command you can give or hit onto the operating system to see where my DB2 is installed. It's a simple command, DB2 ls, right? DB2 ls will give you what operating system, sorry, not operating system, where your DB2 binaries are installed. There are your DB2 binaries. What is the level? What is the fix back? When you did that, blah, 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 all it is. Let's go and navigate into that. I'm not going to take much of your time in this one. So you'll see this is the things. Main two things are important. One is CD instance directory, right? PWD. And another is basically install PWD. These two directories, I would say, are very much important. I'm not saying others are not important. Other are equally important, but you need to focus on these. In case you want to see what the sample scripts, you need to go back and go for the samples. What it gives you. If you see this, you see a lot of things as a sample. Okay. So I'm not going to get into these details. Okay. With that, let's quickly go and cover the user creation. So what are the next steps? Basically, I need to basically first create this admin role. I would say admin. Let's come out of this one instead of running multi sessions, because not needed at the moment. So let's create the uh, admin groups for the DB2. So I need to give group add -g 999 DB2 iadmin. So one thing here is, this is the Linux command to add group, right? If you have a Solaris, there is a different command. If you have AIX, it's a different command. If you have a basically Ubuntu, there is a different command. If you have a Fedora, SUSE, there are different commands. So obviously follow the internet to see, like, what commands you can use. Okay. So let's say if it's saying like, this is already used, let's see what it is used. Oh, etc group. Maybe it is added already. ID, it should not be. So let's see. We can grep -i 999. Okay. So if it is already added, what we will do is we will create by using 98. Okay. Oh, this ID is already existing. Quite strange. And then 8. Render. So what we can do is let's do CP etc group. Let's take the backup BKP. Okay, so let's go to groups and remove these IDs. What was render? Okay, render. I don't think so it is required. We can, okay, then input. Okay, now what we can do is enter, right? You can change as well here, because since we are not going to create the dash group, so then we should be fine with this. Okay, so enter, or we can give 999 since we are for it. Okay, so group is done. Now we need to use this to create user. Click on this one. So warning, home directory already exists, no copying file. All right, that's fine. Then password, as I said, we need to change the password of this user as well. We're keeping same password, DB2 inst1, DB2 inst1. Okay, so we can, let's create another user. Let's remove the space before we do this one. Control C. Awesome. Sorry, password. Let's change the password of this ID as well. Same password. Just keeping the same password, not doing anything much on that. Then it is not needed, as I mentioned. Dash is not needed. Okay. As I mentioned, it is deprecated, and that's how I'm not going to use that one. So let's go for the change ownership. So blah blah blah, change ownership -r. It's a recursive way. I'll tell you, like, later on as to what is that basically. Okay, so now quickly check that. Let's say switch user DB2 inst1 PWD. Awesome. So exit from here, switch user. Awesome. So go back. Let's see what are the permissions set on this one. Cool. We're good. So I think this is what the permission I was looking for. So that's all for today, guys. So again, I would say thanks for watching my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching this video. Again, from DBK Fun Day, all about RDBMS. If you have not subscribed my channel, not liked my channel, not commented on my channel, I would say do so, and share this channel and the videos, um, you know as much as you can, share with your colleagues, friends, technical guys who are new, college going technical guys, I mean CSC branch guys, anyone you feel like this video is going to help them into the database world. I would say go ahead and share. That's what I'm looking for. And keep connecting with me on through this particular channel, DBK Fun Day, so that you can get more awesome videos like this. And I have added previous videos as well. If you have not seen my videos, go ahead and check out them, and share your thoughts, share with your colleagues, as I mentioned. So with that, I would be saying yes, thank you, bye, and bye for now, and keep watching my channel. Thank you, everyone.